Yo, this is Too Tough, and this is this week's edition of Too Tough Tough Talk. I'm at MSG right now. Yo, what's going on? This is Too Tough. It is the last day of May in 2019. Tomorrow we got a bunch of fights at the Garden that it's going to be an introduction to a lot of the UK fighters to the US soil. So it's a decent card. It has a lot of decent fighters on the card. This card reminds me of a traditional UK card too. Anyway, AJ versus Andy Ruiz Jr. That's the big fight tomorrow. But I'm gonna discuss the two minor fights first. All right. On ESPN Plus, there's a fight in Cardiff, I believe, in the UK, being aired here on ESPN Plus. And that fight is between Angel Moreno and Jay Harris, and this one is for the European flyweight title, I believe. I'm going to be quite honest. I'm not too familiar with either one of these guys because they are in the lower weight classes, and I don't get as much access as I could. However, I did go on, look up some of their videos. Should be an interesting scrap. I'm gonna give it to Jay Harris. That's who I'm gonna give it to, the undefeated prospect. I think this is his fight to win anyway. Then you also have Stephen Orman versus Craig Evans for the, I believe it's the WBO European lightweight title. I think I'm gonna give it to Craig Evans on this one. Just from what I've seen, it just seems like he might be the better prepared fighter. Then in the States on FS1, you have Devon Alexander taking on Evan Redcat. This is for, I believe, a WBA international title. It's some type of ranking for one of the sanctioning bodies at welterweight. We know that Devon Alexander, I believe, two-time former champion. He had some battles with some of the other greats. He had a little drug addiction of painkillers for a second. He had to rehab himself. He came back. He got two bad decisions in many people's eyes against Ortiz, which was considered a draw, and then a loss to Berto, which many people believe that he should have got the win. But he's fighting Evan Redcat. Now, I think that Devon Alexander is the one that's going to win this fight, but it should be an interesting one. Evan Redcat, it will come to fight. So we'll see what's going to happen with this one. And then you got on the co-feature, co-main, you have Willie Monroe Jr. Yup, that Willie Monroe Jr. taking on Hugo Centeno Jr. Now we've seen Hugo, I believe we've seen Hugo facing Sulecki. I think that, I want to say that. He lost to Sulecki. I want to say he lost to Charlo. I can't look at his record. I know I've seen Centeno fight before. Well, we know Willie Monroe Jr. He was supposed to fight Jamal Charlo, but got caught with some PEDs in his system, so that fight was canceled, and instead Jamal Charlo had to sub him in for Matt Karboff, and then you know what happened with the Matt Karboff fight. Many people believe Charlo lost that fight. I personally think Charlo did enough to win that fight, but so Willie Monroe Jr. He also lost to Triple G, Billy Joe Saunders, but he's the former Boxino tournament, the ESPN Boxino tournament champion. He actually, yo, this is funny, the circle of things, this great circle of life. Willie Monroe Jr. Now this fight, the winner of this fight is probably going to go on to fight Jamal Charlo, I believe, because this is a PBC fight. Or if not Charlo, maybe Duranchenko. But so I think this is, but it's funny, Willie Monroe Jr. beat Brandon Adams in the Boxino tournament, right, on ESPN. And then he went on, he got a fight against Triple G. He got another fight against Billy Joe. He was about to get a fight against Charlo. Um, he had a fight against Gabe Rosado. I think it was Gabe Rosado that he won, and now he's fighting Centeno Jr. and Brandon Adams since he lost the Willie Monroe. I think that was the first year Willie Monroe fought, and John Thompson won the second year, or vice versa, whatever. Brandon Adams lost both of the finals in the ESPN Boxino tournament. He lost to Willie Monroe and John Thompson. I'm not sure if it was Monroe or Adams. Monroe or Thompson. But anyway, regardless of the fact, Monroe Jr. is going to fight Centeno Jr. And I think Monroe Jr. is going to be a little bit too much for Hugo. I think he's going to be too slick for him. He's going to outbox him. And he's going to win by decision. Now, in MSG, we got the big card, Anthony Joshua's professional American debut. Okay, he's taking on Andy Ruiz Jr. in the main event, but I'm gonna discuss the undercard fights first and leave the best for last. Katie Taylor's taking on Delphine Persoon for the undisputed lightweight titles. All four of the belts will be on the line. This will be the third undisputed female champion. If whoever wins will be the third undisputed female champion currently in women's boxing. They have, and it's ironic because there's no, I think the experience might be too much for Taylor. This is Katie Taylor's fight to win or lose, but I think Persoon gonna win this by decision. You got a few undercard fights. Chris Algieri fighting Tommy Coyle. I'm gonna give Chris Algieri the nod on decision. This is probably, in my opinion, this is a fight to get a Maurice Hooker title defense. The winner of this probably fights Maurice Hooker. Then you got, and again, I said Chris Algieri by decision. You got Joshua Buatsi taking on Marco Parabon. Parabon is a tough custom, I guess. He's gonna let you hit him a bunch. So Joshua Buatsi is gonna be able to get some hits in. We're gonna be able to see how he could deal with that particular style of fighting. And we're gonna see from there. Then you got Josh Kelly taking on the new Ray Robinson. This one, Ray Robinson is coming off a draw against Kavalauskas, the Mean Machine, which many people, so Ray Robinson is taking on Josh Kelly. It's going to be a good test for Josh Kelly. He looked good his last time out. I forget, the opponent escapes me the last time I seen him, but he had his hands down a lot, which I would suggest against doing that against Ray Robinson. Kelly is probably the better boxer of the two, but don't sleep on someone perfecting timing. And with that perfection of the timing, he might be able to catch Kelly with something, being that Kelly keeps his hand down a lot, and he likes to showboat. Maybe he won't showboat here because this is, his introduction to the U.S. market. Then you got Callum Smith taking on Hassan Ndam. Callum Smith, the WBA 168 super middleweight super champion. He's defending his title against Ndam. Ndam, most of his fights, I believe, have been at the middleweight division. This is probably a showcase fight for Callum Smith. I don't know what's going on with my phone and my camera. It keeps stopping. I have to keep press re-record. Gonna have to talk to Samsung about this. Anyway, I'm gonna give it to Callum Smith. I was gonna say decision. I might go with knockout. Yeah, I'm gonna switch it to KO. Then the big fight, because I think Callum Smith a little bit too tall, a little bit. Is he taller than? I don't even know if he's got a longer reach than Ndam. But I'm gonna give it to Callum Smith. Then you got the main event. Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz Jr. Andy Ruiz Jr. is a late replacement because the original opponent, Jarrell Big Baby Miller, tested positive. So since he was positive, they needed to find a replacement opponent. Luis Ortiz was offered first. He wanted more, his team wanted more, they dropped the ball. And now we have Andy Ruiz Jr. Now Andy Ruiz Jr. is a former title contender because he fought for the WBO title versus Joseph Parker, I believe 2016. I'm expecting Anthony Joshua to stop Andy Ruiz between round 7 and 9. I think Andy Ruiz is going to give it his all for the first few rounds, and then it's just going to be a little bit too much for him afterwards. You know, the two interesting factors I want to add is AJ's first fight in the U.S., first fight away from home, I believe, and it's also his longest stint between bouts. So those two things, will it have a play? Will it have an effect? We don't know, we'll see. Andy Ruiz seems to hope so. So I don't expect Andy Ruiz to win. I don't expect it to go to 12. But it should be an interesting fight for as long as it lasts. All right. And that one is at MSG, and it's going to be aired on the DAZN app. And that's that. Subscribe and get notified. You know, follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Too Tough Talk. Too Tough and I'm out. That's today's edition of Too Tough Talk. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Too Tough Talk. Like, comment, and share with your buddies. Please subscribe and get notified. Too Tough, and that's my peace. Peace.